Is it just me?
Or is this Joker
really, really bad?
I already had some doubts about this movie from the trailer. I mean, sure, I was excited when I saw the first trailer, but something about it was just wrong. And I did spend the whole movie waiting for him to become the Joker, but I just feel like he never did. And I knew everyone wouldn't feel the same way I felt about this movie, but I'm really kind of confused why everybody loves it so much. Because it's not a bad movie, it's just a bad Joker movie. The girlfriend thing actually surprised me. I didn't see it coming, it caught me off guard. But the only reason I didn't see it coming is because, what's going on in Hollywood lately. I really thought they're gonna have her die and that's the reason that he becomes the Joker and they're really gonna do this, they're really gonna make that his motivation. Can't he just be crazy? But then when he was in her apartment and she was like, what are you doing in my house, man? I was like, oh shit. I was completely watching this movie the wrong way. I was already assuming that they were gonna do that typical thing because they always kind of have to put a love story in everything now. But I do like that about this movie. They really don't have a single breaking point for him. Like he's always kind of just gradually being worn down, just scene after scene. So I do like that. And I really like the laugh. I think the laugh is probably the best thing about this Joker because even the Heath Ledger Joker really didn't have that great of a laugh. I'll say it's this laugh and the animated series laugh. Those two are easily the best ones. And Joaquin Phoenix does a really great job at playing a mentally ill person. Like he's really convincing. But the movie I just saw didn't have the Joker in it. I really don't mind when they change certain details about comic book characters, like Bane in The Dark Knight Rises was basically a brand new character. His origin story and his motivations were different, and him needing to breathe in some pain medicine instead of a super steroid was also different, but the essence of what Bane was still there. He escapes a prison, he takes a drug that enhances his strength, and he even beats Batman in almost the exact same way. So all of the main details that made him Bane were still there. They were just cosmetically changed a bit to make him more realistic. And I'm totally okay with that, because I know if you're going to make a realistic version of a comic book character, you're probably going to have to change a few things. But with this Joker, the only thing that's the same is that he's a guy living in Gotham City that dresses like a clown. But that's not what makes the Joker the Joker. Just because you have all the gadgets and the money and the suit and all that stuff doesn't make you Batman. And can we talk about Batwoman for a minute? I mean, I haven't heard anybody mention this, but they really just glued a wig on top of the cowl, on top of the mask. They just put a red wig on top. But when I left the theater after seeing the Joker, I felt like I had just seen a movie about a mentally disabled man that dresses like a clown and not an origin story of Batman's greatest villain. And I did say mentally disabled and not mentally ill. Because this Joker is incompetent and he's socially awkward and he doesn't understand simple communication cues and he's not even smart. I mean, he's not even average intelligence. This Joker is literally stupid. The Joker's superpower is his intelligence. It's his ability to think 5 steps ahead and influence people to do whatever he wants. It's his ability to create chaos and just ride that wave and not really be affected by it. The Dark Knight said it best. All the mentally ill and insane people always gravitate toward the Joker. And it's this way with every version of him. I mean, his henchmen are one of his greatest strengths because the Joker can't really fight and he's not strong, and his only real power is his intelligence and his ability to influence people. This Joker could never compete with Batman. This isn't the Joker. I always thought of the Joker as a mix between Ramsay Bolton and Littlefinger. Because he's intelligent and cunning and manipulative, but he's also sadistic and intimidating and unpredictable. But this guy is none of those things. And how is this Joker's identity such a mystery in Gotham? I mean, Batman's the world's greatest detective, so he should be able to figure out who this guy is pretty easily. He did shoot a TV show host live on TV. Do you get what I'm saying with that? Like, when you think of this movie outside of the borders of the movie, it doesn't make sense once you start applying Batman and the other, villains and stuff in Gotham to it. Do you get what I'm saying here? Like, this Joker is a Forrest Gump Hannibal Lecter. It's like a movie where Hannibal Lecter doesn't know about fancy wines and artwork and symphonies and stuff. Like, that's part of his character. He has to be smart. That's why he's dangerous. That's why he's interesting. I mean, this movie is honestly You Were Never Really Here Part 2, or kind of a reimagining of that movie. You Were Never Really Here was Joaquin Phoenix's last movie, or one of his last movies, I think, and he was a former FBI agent that lives with his old mother. He suffers from PTSD and trauma from his past, and the character even has these fantasies that we don't initially realize are only happening in his imagination. So yeah, this movie is just basically that. It's not a Joker movie. Oh, and it's a little bit of sucker punch too, because every time he does that little nutcracker dance bullshit, it seems like he starts to imagine everything that happens around those moments. You know, do you guys remember Sucker Punch, where the girl would start dancing and then she'd like just wake up in some video game world? And this movie does a similar thing, because every time he does that dance, he suddenly becomes confident, and he either does it before or after every major event in this movie. So it's really arguable if he actually did any of the things we see him do, because we know many of the events that we see are just going on in his mind. My biggest problem with this movie, besides the low intelligence Joker, was the amount of time we spent on him getting abused. From the very beginning of the movie, when they took his sign, I was already ready for him to do some Joker stuff right there, but we had to see every painful detail about this guy's pathetic ass sad life, and it was like, okay, I get it, he's a loser, he's awkward, but let's see some Joker level scheming or some glimpses into his ability to create chaos or something. But no, we just get an hour and a half of him getting beat up and insulted and humiliated, and we get to see all his pathetic fantasies, and I just really didn't enjoy the experience. I mean, it was a bad sign, because I actually checked my phone twice. I checked the time. And that's a bad sign when I'm watching a movie like this and I'm actually wondering what time it is. I should be lost in the movie, but I just wasn't. And I've seen some reviews already that are saying that the third act was really good, but he never actually turns into the Joker. I hope you get what I'm saying. That's my problem with this movie, is that this is not the Joker. It was like he would almost get there. He would do something and I would think, okay, here it is, the switch has officially been turned on, but then he goes right back to being stupid after that. And he's really never threatening or scary, and I never really feel afraid for anyone when he's around. I always just feel like maybe he's just fantasizing, right? I'll just say it like this. Jared Leto's Joker was more intimidating than this. I don't know why everyone hates this Joker. I mean, he honestly embodies more of a comic accurate Joker anyway. Because he was so random and chaotic, and he always seemed unstable and unpredictable. You know, that's what the Joker is. He's the embodiment of controlled chaos. Jared Leto's Joker is a lot like the Arkham games version of Joker. And I think if everyone just judged his character and not the overall movie, you'd see that he's a really good version of the Joker. I mean, he's more of a comic style Joker. And I know a lot of people didn't like the tattoos and the way he dressed and everything, because they said, oh, the Joker would never dress like that, and he would never get tattoos, but I'm gonna call bullshit, because every version of the Joker gets a custom-made purple suit, and he writes ha 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 on everything, and he has clown-themed weapons, and he even has all of his henchmen adopt this clown personality too. So it's not out of place for the Joker to get some silly tattoos and drive a Lamborghini. I just think Heath Ledger's Joker kind of ruined everyone's perception because it was so great. So anything that came after it, of course, was going to be criticized more heavily. The major flaw in Suicide Squad was not having the Joker be the main villain. I mean, I think we would have liked him more if he was the only villain in the movie. Heath Ledger's Joker was great because it was written great. I mean, sure, Heath Ledger did a great job too, but the first time we see the Joker rob the bank and he told each of the henchmen to kill one of the other ones, that immediately showed us that the Joker was intelligent and cunning. That's good writing, because it told us about the Joker without him even being on screen. Or when he burned the pile of money, right? It told us so much about what he values and what type of man he is. And that Fight Club ending really made me take a look back at every scene and ask if any of this stuff happened at all. I mean, think about the first thing we see when the kids take his sign. Did those kids really steal that sign? Or did he just imagine it and run down the alley and fall? Did his psychiatrist really tell him that the funding was cut? Or did he just imagine all of this and decide to stop taking his medicine on his own? I mean, we know the girlfriend thing was fake. Oh, and the Thomas Wayne bathroom scene? Yeah, that was fake too. Yeah, that Thomas Wayne bathroom scene was all in his imagination. He wakes up and goes downtown to a theater that Thomas Wayne is in. He sneaks in, he finds a convenient bellhop outfit, and as soon as he sees Thomas Wayne in a packed theater, he gets up and goes to a completely empty bathroom. But that's not why I know it's fake. After Thomas Wayne punches him for no real reason, he leans over with both of his hands on the sink. And he's in the bathroom for a minute in that position, and then we get a really hard cut to him in his apartment in that exact same position. So all of this was just in his mind, because when I started looking at the details, he had the bellhop outfit on, but as soon as he comes into the bathroom, he's back in his regular outfit. So now I'm wondering if the guy really gave him a gun, or did he just get it somewhere else? Again, everything in this movie seems like it's fake. Everything in this movie is in his imagination. And the trailers made it seem like the clown masks were all like his henchmen, because we normally see Joker with a bunch of henchmen dressed up like clowns and stuff, but he isn't even the cause of this riot. Because as I said, you start to go back and ask, did any of this stuff actually happen? Did he actually go on the talk show and kill the guy? Because I really didn't believe the last scene where they pulled him out of the cop car and he was standing on top of the hood doing that nutcracker dance. Oh, and about that, it was kind of interesting to see him do it after killing those guys on the train, but every time after that felt so awkward, and I really didn't understand the significance of it. And I even have to question if he even killed those guys on the train, because every time they talk about the killer, they always say he was wearing a mask. They say he was wearing a mask over and over. The movie really emphasizes that. It makes that clear. So I'm wondering, because Arthur dresses up like a clown, did he just imagine himself in that position because he dresses like a clown and the person doing the killing was a clown, or wore a clown mask? Because look, the movie does a great job at showing mental illness and social isolation and the effects of childhood trauma, so if it's gonna be psychologically accurate, we also have to recognize his victim mentality. We know this is how real people respond to trauma sometimes, but it's kind of strange that we never see anyone else get beat up in this movie. It's like from the very beginning, some kids just randomly steal his sign and beat him up. And then the three, stockbrokers or whatever that were on the train, they decided to just beat up a mentally ill man because he was laughing. And then a billionaire that's running for mayor punches him in the face in the bathroom because he was laughing. Do you see the pattern here? It seems like he's always the victim in every situation, but none of these situations seem to make any sense, like regarding why people would want to beat him up. It just seems like every situation he's in, he's imagining himself as a victim. And honestly, I'm starting to feel like none of the events in this movie actually happened. I can easily argue that nothing in this movie actually happened. So I am kind of confused on what the point of this movie is. It's like, okay, a mentally ill guy has fantasies about being in control and not being a victim, but how is that the Joker? I hope you all still get what I'm saying, is that at no point in this movie does he actually become the Joker. Every single thing we see him do is it's a question of if it really even happened. And it's not like he did a bunch of cool shit. It's not like he was doing, this Joker's not even really a criminal. He might have committed a crime, but this is not a guy that's some criminal mastermind. Again, this is not a bad movie. It's just a bad Joker movie. And I'm not saying I wanted some formulaic Marvel movie plot, but he never becomes the Joker. Even in the final talk show scene, it raises some serious questions because everything goes too perfectly. He comes out, he does his little dance, he kisses the lady, he sits next to him, and he seems cool and funny, and he turns into the Joker for a minute. But then he starts reading the jokes and he's all clumsy and unsure again. I like artistic movies that, make you think and don't tell you what to think or how to feel, but I still feel like I'm waiting to see the Joker in his own movie. Now, maybe if they made this like Batman Begins and it was the first in a trilogy, but not even that really, because this Joker isn't even smart. Nothing he does makes it seem like he can even compete with Batman or any of the other people like Catwoman, Bane, Deathstroke, or Riddler. How can this guy ever be a successful criminal in Gotham? How is this guy Batman's greatest villain? There's not a point where he actually does any Joker stuff. He shoots the guy on the train, but then he runs away because he's afraid. He kills the guy in his apartment, but then it really doesn't amount to anything. He smothers his mom, but again, you can start to question, did she just die on her own? And he was there and he imagined himself being the one that killed her. Because none of it was done in a way that suggested that this guy's some criminal mastermind, or that he should be feared, or that he's even capable of causing any high level of chaos or anything. I'm really happy that they let someone make this movie with their own vision, but it seems like Hollywood picks the strangest times to do this. I would think you would let a filmmaker have their own vision on Suicide Squad or Shazam or something, but not the Joker. You let a filmmaker create their own story in a Solo or a Boba Fett spinoff, but not the main Star Wars episode movies. You know what I'm saying? Letting Rian Johnson do that to a main movie was stupid. You should have let him have one of the spinoffs. Because yeah, you can do whatever the hell you want to do with the spinoff movie. I mean, just don't give him a main character, just give him like a Boba Fett or something, someone who doesn't already have a backstory, and then let Rian Johnson do whatever. And then he might have actually made a great movie because we don't have any expectations for him. And it's the same with the Joker. We have expectations for the Joker. Fight Club was a completely new story. I mean, unless you read the book, but still, it's a completely new story. It's not a character with some long, decades-long history that's beloved by fans and stuff like that. Or even Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. This is not a character that has this long history of being around. It's a brand new character, so you can have a artsy, it was all a dream, none of this really happened sort of thing, and it feels rewarding. But for the Joker movie, why even make an origin story for the Joker if you're just gonna say it was just all a dream? Because we already know that. We already know that he feels like his past is really random. It's kind of like what they did to Darth Vader. You don't take a menacing and terrifying character and expose all their vulnerabilities. Everyone seems to like this origin story that doesn't actually explain a backstory. We never learn why the Joker became some criminal mastermind, we never get any cool Joker scenes, and all the abuse and mental illness doesn't really add anything to the character. Again, it's not a bad movie, it's just a bad Joker movie.